Good evening, everybody. I'm Dr. Rohan Palshevkar, and today's episode is a very special one because we're not talking about leadership from the podium, but leadership from behind the scenes. Today is my last podcast of the Gyan Pravah, and as our president says, think out of the box. I thought the last episode should be a little hatke. Foxy presidents are faces we all recognize on stages, at conferences, shaping policies and inspiring generations. But what we rarely talk about is the silent strength that walks alongside them, the spouse. The sacrifices, the adaptability, the emotional resilience, and the quiet pride of supporting a national role that never really switches off. That's why today's topic is both unique and deeply human: life as the spouse of a Foxy president. A conversation that's going to be about partnership, patience, pressure, and pride. But before we begin, I would like to thank our visionary Foxy president, Dr. Sunita Tandulwadkar, for creating platforms like the Gyan Pravah that encourage us, chairpersons, to explore subjects beyond medicine, shaping us into leaders with holistic understanding. As she always says, I want to create leaders, not followers. Thank you, ma'am, for this opportunity. And I would love for you to say a few words before my last podcast on the Gyan Pravah.
Thank you, Rohan. Thank you. And Dr. Rajesh, welcome to our podcast series. You are literally living, breathing Foxy, but I'm so thrilled, not amazed, but thrilled that Rohan has selected this out of the box topic of having you on the podcast series. I'm sure this podcast will be fantastic. Rohan, you are one of the most dependable and most dedicated, passionate. Anything you have done so good in this year. Help me everywhere, and you have always come out with the out of the box ideas. I'm really thankful to all committee chairperson, 325 plus. We are going to have a 351 podcast altogether. Itself is na bhuto na bhavishyati. No president will be crazy like me joining 8 p.m. every day. It was a crazy journey, but we wanted to have a fun. And you people are the future of Foxy, the leaders of Foxy. And I thought it's nice to give them a dedicated platform to think on their own what they wish to do. 1 hour every month, a minimal expectation, but you all have outperformed. So thank you, Rohan. Thank you for this last podcast, having Dr. Rajesh. And sir, as you know, I will be joining the viewers link and enjoy the journey or enjoy the podcast and dialogue between both of you. So thank you
Thank
and
you so much,
goodbye.
ma'am.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
madam.
Thank you.
So I must tell all our viewers one thing, that I had to tell Dr. Rajesh Tandulwadkar almost a few months in advance not to accept any other chairperson in case they approached him, so that I could have him as one of the last people on the podcast to actually understand what our president makes Sir go through. I think the entire journey this entire year has been quite a challenging one, not only for madam, but I'm sure for the family as well. But before I get into the questions with Sir, let me tell you what an accomplished human being he is. He is a highly respected surgical and gastroenterologist with over 25 years of clinical experience. He's one of the pioneers of GI and hepatobiliary pancreatic surgery in Pune, and notably the first liver transplant surgeon in the city of Pune. He was the first to establish a comprehensive GI super specialty clinic in Pune, offering complete GI care under one roof. He's a gold medalist in MS surgery, and he has trained internationally in HPB surgery, liver transplantation, and advanced endoscopy in UK as well as Germany. Beyond these achievements, he is going to bring a unique and deeply personal perspective to today's discussion, having closely experienced the journey of being a spouse of a Foxy president. Rajesh sir, thank you so much for joining us. And today I'm genuinely looking forward to hearing. Considering my mother has also been a president, I've seen my father's side of it. But I want to hear your side because I know that every president's journey is different. So every spouse's journey will also be different.
Thank you, Rohan. And
So
I really thank you, all the Foxians and the Foxy president, for I would not say this as an opportunity, but maybe you can say an exposure, which maybe many people may be wanting to explore and experience.
I'm sure everyone wants to know what's been happening at home because we always see Madam, as I said, we always see Madam at the conferences, at the programs. We have a personal interaction with her. But, sir, we know what a rock you are behind the scenes. So, today I thought I should explore that aspect rather than having someone else come on the podcast. So, we'd really love to. But before I get to asking about Madam, we'd love to know a little bit about you. So, what was your childhood like, and when did medicine first enter into your dreams? Like, what made you pursue the field of medicine?
My mother and father both dreamt of me as a doctor.
Yeah.
So, since childhood, my aim and objective was fixed by my mother and father because I come from a very small place. It is still a very small village called Booth in the Satara district,
Yeah.
which hardly has a population of around 7 to 8,000 people, and it is
Oh,
still
wow.
not more than 10,000 people. And though my birth was in Sholapur, and I was born in Sholapur but brought up by my Mausi. So from the first standard onward, only in those eras, I was away from the home.
Oh,
And I used to meet my mother and father only during vacation. And whole my education was in Sholapur up to VM Medical College. I passed out MS in 1989. And
wow.
then sometime in Mumbai and sometime in Germany and then sometime in UK. And then I was in Pune from 1992 onward.
Oh, wow. I think that's such an amazing backstory because, so in a way, it was like that Virendra Sahas Buddhi from Three Idiots who said that Mera beta doctor ya engineer banega. You were pretty much already ready with what you wanted to do.
Yeah, that was the era. So during that time, every parent wanted to have their son as either doctor or an engineer. So I was born in that era. So, and another reason for that was there was not a single doctor in our village.
Oh, wow.
That was another pushing point. But unfortunately, I could not go to the village because of the super specialty practices I had to sort.
Absolutely.
And then I have to select Pune. And also that was guided by our Guruji, Param Pujya Swami Gagangiri Maharaj. Those many of the Foxians must be knowing.
Absolutely, sir.
So that platform I had to choose to be in the city than to go into the village. But I used to visit the place every now and then when I started my practice. Almost every weekly, every Friday, I used to go to my village to see the patients with all my equipments along with me. And I used to do gastroscopies, I used to do laparoscopies during that time in the local hospitals. Because they were not having all these, they were having the basic facilities of OT and all these things, but they were not having these endoscopes and all these things. So every weekly, on every Friday, I used to go to my village and nearby places to perform consultations and scopies and surgeries.
So that is amazing.
Yeah.
But sir, you said 1989 is when you passed your MS. Endoscopy and all was not at its peak. I'm sure there must have been so many struggles during that time, sir.
Absolutely.
What were those? Can you tell us some of those examples that shaped you into the doctor you are today? Because in today's era, it's very easy. You get all your equipment anywhere.
Endoscopy was absolutely not in the picture at that time. Because after MS, I had appeared for MCS exam and I got MCS plastic surgery.
Oh, wow.
But somehow in our family discussions, one of my motivator was my father-in-law, who was MCOM LLB of 1940s and 1950s.
Oh, wow.
So during that discussion, and of course Sunita also was there. So that time endoscopy was budding and there were no many of endoscopists and especially surgical endoscopists were not there. So it happened to me that I came across Dr. Srikhande and Dr. Nande from Mumbai. Many of the Mumbaites must be knowing them. and he's one of the world famous gastroenterologists. And that time, Dr. Nande also was as a budding laparoscopic surgeon. So I grew with him. I saw what were the initial issues in laparoscopy and all these things.
Yeah.
And that brought me to endoscopy.
Oh, wow. I think that must have been quite the challenge in those
Yeah,
days, which
I
was
left my
eventually
MCH plastic and entered into endoscopy.
into endoscopy. Wow. So, but from as far as what I'm hearing so far, you've had a lot of discipline, humility, and even resilience, I would say, in your younger days. Which one of these values you think have still continued till today, or all of them?
All of them, Rohan. Because when I started as a endoscopist, at that time, ERCP was not known also to many people.
Yeah.
ERCP accessories we used to manufacture ourselves by going to Lohar Chawl and bringing stainless steel wires. I know Dr. Nande has taught me to how to make a sphincterotome.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
that time these were not available commercially, so we have to make them ourselves and use them ourselves. I
Oh,
also got a duodenoscope with one of my friends from Sholapur only as a second-hand scope. So that time that was era of a fiber optic scope. There were no video endoscope also available.
oh,
When we
wow.
started practice after 95, the video endoscope came into market.
Oh, wow. So that
So
must,
I know that era where we have ourselves manufactured the sphincterotome and all these things for the ERCPs and all these things.
so now I always keep saying this, that y'all have literally paved the pathway for us where things for us, like if I look at it in the IVF terms, I still remember back in the days when mom was also there. She in the 1990s, she used to tell me they used to make their own culture media and everything. Now
Yes, yes.
everything comes ready. We don't have
Ready
to
made.
really worry about manufacturing our own culture media, and also I completely understand the innovation that you had to go through from back in those days to what's available today. Because if you all hadn't gone through the hardships, it wouldn't be as easy for us. So you
Yes,
also said that you are the only doctor from your village, right? Both who was the
yes,
only doctor at that time.
yes,
I'm
yes,
sure your parents must have been very worried when you had to go to UK, Germany at that time, because I'm sure nobody had even traveled internationally at that point from
yes,
your
yes.
this. So I'm sure you also must have felt homesick in a way. Like even if you were in Solapur, it was still home for you. But going to UK, going to Germany, what kept that inner drive? Like what kept that drive going to move you forward through that period?
Basically, the passion for the subject, that is the most important thing, which I inherit from Sunita. Because her passion is endless for anything.
No,
So
that we have seen.
maybe we started doing endoscopy, we started doing therapeutic endoscopy, we started doing laparoscopic surgery. Then came into mind, now what next? And that time only kidney transplant was prevalent.
Yeah.
Liver transplant was not that prevalent. So there were no many takers also for the liver transplant at that time.
Okay.
So what next then came is the liver transplantation.
Liver
Then
transplant.
I went for a transplantation fellowship in UK.
Oh, wow.
Fortunately, one of my friend, Dr. Amra Burkar, he's now no more. He was
Yeah,
my
Dr.
mentor
Amar.
and guide for my GI practice and GI this thing.
Oh, wow.
So he introduced me to Dr. Mohammad Rilla from UK, and
Wow.
then he pursued him to take me as a fellow, and then I went to fellowship like that. Those days.
Yeah.
Those days,
So,
fellowship used to be like this by recommendation of somebody, not by
yeah.
giving exams or not by application.
True, true. I can completely understand that, sir. But now I want to understand a little bit more. I've heard about you talking about Sunita ma'am who inspired you for that passion in the field. But firstly, how did you meet her? That is where we should begin with.
We were together since our 11th standard.
Oh, wow. So truly long term.
Yeah, it's like any movie story. We used to go on
Absolutely.
bicycle to the college. She also used to go on a bicycle to the
Oh,
college.
wow.
One day her tire got punctured or some chain got dislodged of this
Yeah.
bicycle, and I helped those days in 11th standard.
Oh, wow.
Then
Truly
from
like
11th
the
standard, we are together. 12th standard, we studied together for entrance exams of those days were only of merit, no entrance exam for the
yeah,
medical.
yeah, for
And
MBBS, yeah,
Solapur was the government medical college. So
yeah.
we all studied together, exchanged notes, encouraged each
Oh, wow.
other. And then we got together in the MBBS, and then we got together whole medical. Then that is all this the history now.
So, like when you mention in your CV attached to this from 1989 to till present. So that's
Yes,
the way how it goes with you and Sunita ma'am as
yes,
well.
yes, yes.
Abs- Absolutely. So now coming to Sunita ma'am's entire Foxy presidency, the election was quite the journey. We all know what had gone through the
Yes,
entire
yes.
time. Uh, and you know how much she traveled through that entire election. How was your
Yes.
experience through that election journey?
When she decided to go for the elections, that was the point wherein whole family started only revolving around Sunita. Sunita became the priority. Rest of the things all secondary.
Oh, wow.
Her election campaign, her phone calls, her travel and everything, that became a priority for each and every person in the family, and of course for me as well. So how then the journey started and all these things that all you know. Then she got elected, and then now
Yeah.
till date now she's completing her presidency. So she is the center point of the all the family at present. She
Wow.
is the priority, and
That's
everything revolves around her program, her appointments, her surgeries, and everything. So much so that I have to keep, if she needs me for some complicated surgeries, I have to keep my surgeries or postpone my surgeries, or I have to change my plans to help her out. Or so she's a
no.
priority at present.
But that's amazing. Like I love how the entire family rallies to ensure that she has the support. And I think that's amazing. Having come to your house and seen you, Rishi, Sunita ma'am, Lekha be together, it really is amazing how the entire family gets together and is always together through thick as well as thin. So that's amazing. Now, I remember one thing. Since Sunita ma'am got installed in Mumbai at the AICOG 2025, we saw everyone going up to her, congratulating her, taking her pictures. But I saw you very quietly standing in the back with the most proudest of smiles, so happy for that installation that was happening. But what changed at home is what I want to understand when the presidency began.
I told you, no, so she became the priority.
Yeah.
And all her programs, all her travel plans is the priority. Then rest other things are all secondary.
True. And I'm sure Sunita ma'am told you that. I remember the first program was in Andaman and Nicobar when we had gone over there. And I remember madam was so busy with all her work, she ended up forgetting her iPad as well in the flight. And
Yes.
and
And
she
you
was
helped
and
her.
she was yeah, no, in fact, I remember she called you up desperately asking ki, what is the password for the Find My iPhone. And I love the fact how patient, how easily you're like, don't worry, it's there in Andaman Nicobar, and you helped actually organize everything so that we could go and pick up the iPad from the airport. Does that
Yeah.
happen often, or now that was the
Yes.
first and last?
Because she has got 100 things in her mind.
Yeah, that's true.
At a time, she has got so many things in her mind ki she rarely, unless she gives special attention in the present.
Yeah.
So I have to remind, and maybe she has to use her phone for the notes and all these things all the time. So, you know, all 100 things together, then some less important things she just forgets. She
Yeah.
has lost many AirPods. She has left the laptop in the flight for 3, 4 times, but
Oh,
only
wow.
because of sheer contacts, she could get her laptop by talking to the airline people and talking to the security people the very next day
Wow.
morning onto her desktop
Oh, wow.
in front of her in
That's
the
fantastic.
cabin.
Yeah, but luckily she is the person who's synced to the cloud. I shouldn't say she, I should say all of y'all.
Yes,
They'll
yes,
all cloud-based systems. So that way, at least she has a data at each place that she goes
yes.
to.
And
But
she's the person, maximum techno savvy. Means in
yes,
our family, she uses the technology to her maximum.
but that we see translating into her Foxy
Yes,
presidency also.
yes, yes.
That's true. But now, Rajesh Uncle, what I want to ask you is that you have your own career and you're also there with Madam. Especially with this presidency, how have you been able to balance that? Because I know that you also have a very busy practice. So it must be getting quite a challenge to balance that part out. Or are you operating when she's traveling?
I know it is a time task only, but I have to manage that. No second thought, as she
Fair.
is the priority.
Fair. So, Rajesh sir, you're actually making it very difficult for the rest of us husbands, huh? By saying all this, making her priority. We will get into trouble at home with our wives.
No, that's why you can see Rohan. She can give her commitment and she can give her 100% and she can
True.
outperform her whatever responsibilities she is carrying throughout this presidency. This is a very serious job.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, absolutely,
So,
sir.
and she should do 100% justice to all these things. So, that is
No,
why we
that's
all are here with you, and you all are also with her. And the credit all goes to you all as well, for
no, but I love the way the family rallies behind each person to push them. I remember even during Rishi's Alive opening.
yes,
You could see the proud parentship. I could see both you and Sunita. I'm so happy for Rishi. How everyone rallied around Rishi to help him and get. Of course, I'm not saying that Rishi wasn't doing everything on his own, but you could see the pride that the parents had, like you and Sunita ma'am, especially when you all were looking at the opening of Alive. So I think that's fantastic how closely knit the family is and is able to push each other to reach higher limits. I don't think I should use the word limits, to go higher than where the sky reaches. I should say that.
yes, of course,
Uh,
absolutely, absolutely.
Now, one more thing. Uh, I want to know at dinner table, is it no Foxy talk or it doesn't matter? It all intermingles with each other.
Yes, yes, we try to make phones aside. That is
Yeah,
very true. Yes, our
but
most of the times our coffee is together in the morning,
okay. So,
but then rest of the day we don't know. And
yeah.
once Rishi and Lekha are there, then we four of us make it a point that we at least have a dinner together. That
But
is
are
for
you
sure.
allowed to talk about Foxy during that time? Or is
Not,
there a rule, no Foxy talk allowed during meal times?
no, she follows, I guess. Huh? She follows. She keeps Foxy aside.
Okay, fair enough. So you do get that special family time
Yes,
during the
yes,
coffee and the
yes.
dinner time when everyone's together.
Exactly. And
That's all.
another thing is that dinner matter is the dinner. The whatever she is eating, at least she should get absorbed and she should have that satiety and all these things. She keeps all 100 things out of her mind.
I think that's her time where she relaxes and just lets loose with all of you there. I think that
Yes,
gives her that opportunity. So this is
yes.
my last question to you, Rajesh sir, especially before I take you to a rapid fire round. Okay? This is my last question to you. If tomorrow someone's spouse is about to take on a major leadership role in Foxy, what one piece of advice would you give to the spouse, I'm saying?
Definitely, she should do, or he or she should do 100% of it when they take such a big responsibility. So, and I guess the rest of the things comes automatically, I guess. When some of your person is there on the responsible post, you
Yeah,
also vouch for the giving them to the best to that particular post. So they need to support, they need to encourage, and in whatever way they can, So I would say, I would not say 100 give a priority or make a priority like we did this thing, but at least that encouragement and everything helps, for the person who is there on that
absolutely.
post. to
Absolutely.
outperform them, to give them 100% to their commitment. That is so important when you run such a big organization like this across the country. And there are so many programs I see every minute something or the other is going on for some program or somewhere and all these things. So
Honestly, this it's such a wholesome answer to actually understand where you come from, where it is. So I think you've given us such wonderful insights into being the spouse and what it actually entails. But that's been an amazing thing. But now I'm going to put you in a rapid fire. No thinking, you have to answer immediately. One word to describe life during the Foxy presidency.
hectic.
Hectic, fair enough. Most common sentence you heard at home during the tenure. They're
Foxy,
thinking a little.
Foxy.
Fair. Foxy or family dinner, what usually wins?
Usually family dinner.
Oh, fair enough. Biggest myths about being a Foxy president's spouse.
Can't say anything about that actually, but it's a
Would you say it's glamorous, it's easy, or you get a lot of free time to yourself?
no free time.
Fair
In
enough.
fact, many of her programs are involved, especially Arogya Yoga Yatra and all these things. I
I
have been
know.
with her and all these things. So even though it is a free time, it is to wrap up your own work than doing
Fair,
enjoying in a free time.
fair
When
enough.
she is not around, you have to wrap up and concentrate on your own work.
Own practice,
Yeah.
absolutely. One habit the presidency has changed forever at home, like maybe travel, phone usage, planning, sleep,
No, she has been
nothing.
like this
True and
since
true.
long.
It's been
Yeah.
something.
Because whatever hands you may give her, her work is still growing and growing only, you know. She may be having
Absolutely.
10 assistants, but she has to work and she gets the work done.
Absolutely. One thing you will miss after the presidency is over.
Foxy friends.
Fair enough. And one thing you are secretly proud of her as a spouse, which you will tell her on when she finishes.
I think I'm whole time her admirer all the time.
That
I
that's
I tell I tell everybody that she is an institute.
yeah,
It is from the people around her how much to take from her, you know,
that's
for her
true.
students, for her fellows, and for her Foxy friends and all these things, you know.
Yeah,
So she is like a big institute. Whatever you want to have from her, she is generous enough to share all these things with you without
that's
keeping
true.
any secrets in her hand or in her mind for her students as well as for anybody, you know.
That's absolutely true. And my last question of the rapid fire round. Would you like to do this all over again this entire year?
Once in a lifetime experience is good enough.
Fair enough, fair enough. I think
Because it drains you out completely, you know. It
yeah,
completely, and I guess 1 year is a good time period. I don't
tenure.
know. It should
Exactly.
not be extended to a single more day also.
Fair enough, fair enough. Rajesh sir, thank you so much. This has been an amazing
I love.
conversation with you. This episode genuinely feels very close to my heart because even though the Gyan Pravah is going to continue, this is the final episode that I have the privilege of hosting. And I'm so glad that you have been my final guest on this podcast. It truly means a lot. So thank you so much. I know you generally
Thank you,
say
Ram.
you're not the speaker, but we've enjoyed the conversation with you.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you for this
Thank you, sir.
platform.
Thank you. So, just to everyone over this journey, I just want to say that this platform has been much more than just being there. It's been a space
Absolutely.
for it's actually been a space for meaningful conversation, shared
Absolutely.
learning, and quiet reflection.
Yes.
So each episode honestly has taught me something new. It's not just as a doctor, but as a person. I've learned so much from each of my guests, whether it was finance, whether it was entrepreneurship, whether it is how to be a supportive spouse from you. But honestly, it really gives you a lot of insight into that. I want to thank Dr. Sunita Tandulwadkar ma'am for her inspiring leadership, her strength, and also for allowing us to explore the deeply human side of the life behind professional excellence.
Very
So,
true.
Sunita ma'am, thank you so much for your openness, your grace, and for the example you set for all of us. And last, before I leave the episode, I'm thankful to every guest who's trusted this space with their stories and to every listener who's joined episode after episode. It's your time, your engagement, and your belief in these conversations that have meant more than words could express. While my role comes as a host comes to an end, remember the spirit of Gyan Pravah is going to continue always. Thank you for being on this journey with me on the 26th of every month. I will be signing out for the last time, but please do log in for tomorrow's Gyan Pravah podcast as well. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rajesh sir, for being there as well.
Thank you. Thank you.